morning, Cambridge Springs Elementary. This is Mrs. Walsh bringing you today's virtual art instruction. Follow along and have a great time. I know we will. I miss you. To begin this week's lesson, I have you practice drawing different sizes, styles, and shapes of robots to pursue the idea that you are going to be doing a family portrait. So if you have 5 people in your family, you would have to draw 5 different robots, and you want to focus in on trying to make characteristics of each robot show something that stands out for each person in your family. So if your mom has really long blonde hair, you're going to want to put really long blonde hair on your robot. Or if your brother is shorter than you, you're going to want to build a robot that is shorter than you. So you got to be thinking like a smart artist about how to create a family portrait, not just copying ideas about robots, but also trying to make the robots personalized like your family. So I'm going to walk you through a demonstration of how to build one robot, and then you are to spend the rest of your time today trying to sketch out different robots to represent each person in your family. And if you don't get that all wrapped up in one day, that's perfectly fine. It's just like art class. You will pick up where you leave off tomorrow. You don't necessarily have to be following along at the same time frame as what I have the lesson posted as long as you get the work done and get it turned in. It's perfectly fine how much time you spend each day getting things completed. So to start out, I'm going to sketch a simple robot on my paper, and I have it in landscape direction because even though we're doing a portrait, which this is portrait direction, you're going to be adding quite a few robots across your page. So you want more room side to side for your family to fit on. You'd have to feel like you were squeezing them all together and running out of room if you were working in this direction. If you were doing just one robot, you probably would want your paper in the portrait direction. But because you're doing several, we're going to move across the paper from side to side doing that. So you have access to this reference mix and match making a robot, and the front side of the paper has different examples of robot head designs. There are robot body designs, and then on my paper you flip it over, but you will see it's photographed, PDF'd on both sides for you to see these. You have examples of arms and you have examples of legs. I always try to start with the head first. So I take a look at what these are, and you do not have to use these exactly. These are just helpful maybe the first time you sketch out a robot to get ideas and to figure out how to build it properly. And then anything you want to do that to take off of this, be as creative as you want to be. It can be anything that you want in the style of a robot. So just for fun, I'm going to start my robot, and I think I will try this kind of Frankenstein looking head. So I know I still need room for his body and arms and legs down here. So I'm going to get pretty high up on the paper. I'm going to bring that shape across. And I can see that this line is longer than this line. And I want my head to be about that big. So then I'm going to put the shorter one down here and connect with sort of this rounded line to make the outline shape of this head. And then you have kind of these things jutting out on both sides for ears that look like the bottom of a cup. So we're going to bring those out on both sides. And I'm sketching in pencil, so if I make a mistake, I can grab an eraser and fix it. And then it shows just this little rectangular shape down here, probably for a neck. So I'm going to add this. Now I'm going to show you, just little details you can be adding along the way as you go. I think the flat top of his head is really going to be helpful for hair. So I'm going to put some hair out here. And then I'm going to put some hair out on this side. And that's a pretty cool looking detail to add to my robot. Okay. And then some eyes. If he's a robot, maybe he's got a circular eye, but maybe outside of that circle, you want another one, almost like a window in a submarine or a ship or something. And I could even go back in and put little rivets around there of how that metal is attached, kind of like on a submarine too. And then his eye inside. Color in. Maybe for a nose, you just put a little rectangle across here, like a piece of metal has been welded on. And then I'm not sure what to do for his mouth, so maybe we'll bring something down, across, and up, and then we'll kind of turn that into something wider, like pieces of metal welded on for a smile, like pipes. That's pretty interesting. I like that. Then I'm going to go down here and choose a body. Any style will do. I kind of like the similar shape of this. He's very boxy looking with his head, so I'm going to use this body. Maybe I want to make his neck a little bit longer, so I'm going to stack these. I call these ellipses a stack of donuts, and they kind of build a spine on the robot. And then I'm going to bring his body out at least the width of his head, maybe a little bit wider. And it comes down straight and is pretty boxy on both sides. And we close the bottom. And then you have the door on his body. And they show you a handle over here. And a couple of buttons down this side. And then you have the bottom of his torso comes in on both sides and gets connected. Now, a lot of times I think, is this gonna work okay adding legs right there? And if it's not, I take a look at some of the other shapes and use them to create like where the hip bones would be on your torso. So maybe I'm gonna take this rounded shape now and connect that to the bottom. Instead of this area just connecting to legs, I'm just gonna make something a little bit more visually making sense. And I'm copying, oh look how that shape continued on. That was kind of nice, wasn't it? And then they have these little rivets across here. And that's all I had to do to add a torso. So I flipped my paper over to ideals for arms and legs. And you don't have to be exact, it can just be similar to what you see going on here. I kind of like this arm. Looks like, I don't know, looks like it'd be a vacuum cleaner, wouldn't it? So you build the arm off the side with the two lines in a curve like this. And then it's just segmented with lines like this. And then it gets larger here and comes out a little bit on both sides, connects, comes in a little bit on both sides, connects, and then they just make these square looking fingers, and he's only got 3 apparently. So there's his fingers. And then I would do that on the other side. Bring your curve down, connect, segment, larger here, comes out, connects, goes in, connects, thumb here, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then we'll go down and add legs. And I'm gonna go for this one. You add a curve here, 2 straight lines, maybe a little bit longer. A small curve connects, large to close, out, connect, flat. There is 1 foot. Do the reverse on the other side. This connects, these come down, connect to the half circle, larger, out, curve and close. Maybe I want to go in and add a second row here to the arms and a second row here to the arms. Maybe I'm gonna put a couple of patches on his torso, like he's been fixed up a couple times. Maybe I want a patch on one of his feet. So there is an example of how to build a robot using this to help guide you, but you don't have to maintain that exact version. You can be getting very creative with this. Maybe I want to go in and add a second stack on top of this one. Maybe we're going to bring something out up here for communication on both sides. Don't want to mess with his hair though. So today, spend some time getting as creative as possible, but also keeping in mind you're trying to personalize these towards your family portrait, which is what you'll be spending time this week doing each day of building. I hope this helps. Enjoy. I can't wait to see these. I'm sure they're going to be super cool and super fun. Have a great day.